ברכה כמובן. בריא ברכה.
די. הביאור אנחנו עושים בשבת. דמינו קרם, דקרם זה תיעד לב.
ברכה.
Open a second again, צדיק ת' עמוד ב', צדיק ת' עמוד ב', הגמרא.
يعني 5, 6, even better. This is Ashur Herut. To me, better 6, 7.
Rabbi Limon wants to make a seder for 400 widows. I'm just starting with Halacha B'Ilchot Shabbat. Just motivation to come in. Listen to this Halacha. I'm reading you now בלכות קידוש, קידוש. צריך לשתות מכל שקידוש כמלוא לוגמה. דהיינו, כל שיסלקנו לצד אחד ויראה מלוא לוגמה. והוא רובו של רביעי. Now remember, we're going to discuss Good morning. We're looking a minute in B'Ilchot Shabbat. Shulchan Aruch says, Friday night when you make kiddush, צריך לשתות מלוא לוגמה, which is a chickful. והוא רובו של רביעי. As everyone knows, at a wedding, at a brit milah, Pidyon Haben, every time we use it, just take a sip. Here, B'Ilchot Shabbat b'Kiddush, not only that, אם לא טעם המקדש, וטעם אחד, אמרים פרדר לשולחן ערוך, Friday night, וטעם אחד מהמסובים כמלוא לוגמה, יצא. So not permitted to have alcohol, or you cannot have sugar. You assign to someone, and he drank the cup that you made kiddush on, that's a first opinion says, ואין שתיית שניים מצטרפת. Well, if two people, I drank, let's say if it's 2 ounces, I drank 1 ounce, you drink 1 ounce. Okay? Then he says, ויש אומרים, וכיוון שבין כולם טעמו כמלוא לוגמה ויצאו. Very famous. שיטת הגאונים. ויש אומרים מלבב, הריטב"א בפסחים, שם התוספות. But if you and your son, each one drank Friday night 1 ounce, it's fine. Then he said, but of course, a third opinion, אם לא טעם המקדש לא יצא. Fine. So we are going to explain how come most of the time we use a cup. We're not drinking melon ugma, drinking kiddush, yes. And how about the night of Pesach? In order to understand, we open the Gemara and have Tzadik Tet Amud Bet, Tzadik Tet Amud Bet.
198.
So we look again at the Mishnah, which we started yesterday, the end of the Mishnah, the second half. ולא יפחתו לו מארבע כוסות. Those who are in charge to distribute matzot, tzedakah, לא יפחתו לו. Lo is to him, one. Look at תוספות on the bottom. לא יפחתו לו, תוספות זה, מתוך הלשון משמע קצת, שאין נותנים לבניו ולבני ביתו. Those who distribute food, matzot is for everyone, but the wine, it's not for his wife and his children. This is why we're reading the Tosfot. כי אם לעצמו, והוא מוציא את כולם בשלום. תוספות המדייק מלשון המשנה, and there's no need that each one There's no need for every participant in the seder. Of course, there's no need for the participant of the seder. Exactly, like Friday night. Listen. Usvarau. Makes sense. Why? I mean, Usvarau, why? The Maishna Arba Kosot, the Kiddush, the Kol HaShana. Why is Seder, the 4 Kosot, different than Kiddush? She'echad, Motzi et Kulam. So what they're saying, how come Friday night by Kiddush, you make Kiddush, or you assign someone, but one person has the cup of wine, he drinks, and therefore follow them. Why should the Seder be different? Umiyu, so for themselves are not sure. Come by Kiddush, Shema, perhaps, Hayal Kol Echad, course. Perhaps by Kiddush, each one had a course also. כי דמשמע לקמן דבי חזיי להוא סבא דגחים בשעתי. Safod are saying maybe yes, by Kiddush everyone have a cup also. So move a second to Daf Kuf Vav Amud Aleph. Look to Kuf Vav, to Kuf, go to Kuf Vav.
The 4 Kosot is the Rabbanan.
זה כל נכון. The Kosot is the Rabbanan, you see me.
Is there an opinion, Rabbi, that they use only 1 cup for the whole night?
But to Safod are wondering, why is it we are going to define Kuf Vav Amud Aleph. Kuf Vav Amud Aleph. Look at the Gemara Rav Ashi, you see? Look in the middle of the page, Rav Ashi is in.
First one on the line.
About 2/3 down.
David, you see my finger, Rav Ashi? Rav Ashi is the one that put the Gemara together. Ikla leMechuza came to a Shabbat, to a community called Mechuza. Amrele, Ligdish Lan Mar, Kiddush HaRabba. Here's the people saying, make for us Kiddush Gadol, Kiddush HaRabba.
Shabbat.
This is Shabbat morning.
Shabbat morning, right?
This is Shabbat morning. And they are telling him, like, if it's okay when you hold the Gemara, same as David. No, David got the warning over the last week. Kiddush HaRabba, we're Pesachim, we're Pesach. Now remember, here's a rabbi coming to a community and they honor him to say the big Kiddush, Shabbat day. In his life, he never heard the term Kiddush HaRabba. He doesn't know what he means. Amar, now remember, he's confused. Amar, Michde, Kol HaBerachot, Kulan, Borei Pari HaGefen, Amar Bereisha. By wedding, by after eating a meal, every time you use a cup, you always start with Borei Pari HaGefen. So I'm safe saying Borei Pari HaGefen first. Shema. Amar Borei Pari HaGefen ve'agidbei. Agidbei means he took a pause. Amen. It's Shabbat morning. Borei Pari HaGefen is taking a pause and he's looking around. Look this. Chaziei, he noticed. Le'ahu Saba, an old man, the Gachin, he bends down. V'shati, and he drank from his own cup. Obviously, this is the end of the Kiddush. To realize the old Mizmor David, they didn't say Kiddush is, this is during the day, Kiddush is Borei Pari HaGefen. But the main point is, he saw another man. What is the man doing with wine?
He drank.
Remember, I'm making it up. 100 people in whatever you think, listen. 100 people in shul, yes, and the rabbi is saying Borei Pari HaGefen, and he saw an old man bending down and drinks from the wine. Where did he have wine? It's not Charetziot that they give everyone an ounce to make everyone feel good, yes. Tosafot bring a raya from this Gemara that perhaps by every Kiddush, everyone had a cup of wine. Yes? Tosafot don't. Otherwise, No, otherwise, how did the
What
old
was he
man?
wondering?
Yes,
What are you telling me this for?
was Tosafot are wondering how come Pesach night everyone has a cup of wine, and how come Friday night only you, whoever makes kiddush, has it? Then Tosafot are saying maybe every kiddush, everyone should have. We are going to explain why yes, why not. Whatever we do is now do it till another 120 years. We're trying to define and understand what are we doing.
This is not a real question of Tosafot. Tosafot had a grandfather before that they were doing what they're doing.
No, Tosafot,
They're not real Safek. This is
One person
they're
could say,
Jewish,
it
right?
could be the same thing, one person does the 4 cups and everybody just sits and we be Yotzeh his.
so the rabbi, the old rabbi says, Kari anavshei, achacham einav b'rosho. Rav Ashi says himself, okay, I acted wisely, yes, by posing after Borei Pri HaGefen, and Baruch Hashem, I passed the test, so to say.
So wine,
Achad b'rosho
ככה
mikal.
אומר, לא, זה פסוק. זה
Does-
פסוק, but when you are, no, זה פסוק.
does it have anything to do with the Kriyat HaHaggadah that you have to have it in tandem with drinking the wine?
In a second. What would the rabbi do if the rabbi would see that no one drinks? Remember, he looks around, Sammy has a cup, he has a cup, and no one drinks.
We're waiting for you.
He still has to drink.
No, that's
we're
what
not waiting.
no
That's
one
it,
waiting
that's
for
it,
you
that's
to
it,
drink.
that's it.
Look at the Rashbam. Look at the Rashbam. Rashbam on the bottom, 5 lines from the bottom. והגיד העריך בו. He paused this, לראות אם יסרב אחד מהם לשתות, ובכך יבין לבורא פרי הגפן רגילים לומר ותולות. שאם לא כן סמי, היה אומר להם קידוש גדול של לילה כמנהגה. If you would not see people drinking, you would say they made the entire Kiddush of Friday night. Because otherwise, remember, the people are honoring him to say Kiddush HaRabbah. What is Kiddush HaRabbah? Now, why in the world would you make the full Kiddush of Friday night, Shabbat day? Either because you didn't make Kiddush Friday night, maybe something happened.
Yeah.
What's the halacha if you are Hatzala call? You're not feeling good, and you didn't make Kiddush.
Make it Shabbat.
You make the full Kiddush without Vayichulu during the day. The Rashbam says, had the rabbi noticed that no one is drinking, would have made a full Kiddush. Now let's go back to us. Go to Daf Tzadik Tet Amud Mejek, Tzadik Tet Amud Mejek.
Rabbi, us having drinking each other and having a glass. And then because the amount of wine that we have to drink, or if you had
I'm
a
talking
big,
about
you had a big glass.
Pesach night or Friday night?
Pesach, if you had a big glass and you went around.
We'll talk about this in a minute. So remember, we raised in the beginning the question, how come in every wedding, the bride and the groom take a seat? And the Brit Milah, you take a seat. Pidyon Haben, a seat. Friday night, you drink. What is the drinking? Now here's the question now.
Is Friday night also a kosher bracha, right?
Right, we saw in the Magid Mishneh, the Magid Mishneh says yes. Right? So here's the point. The question is the main idea is to say the blessing on a cup of wine. The blessing is the main part, right? Or the drinking is the part. So you tell me, what is the drinking? Am I drinking only because otherwise you wasted the bracha?
Yes.
Oh, no.
On Friday night or Milad?
Both questions.
No different.
How do they deal with Hamavarek Starek Shigito?
You don't have to.
See,
I don't
everyone,
have to drink Friday night, but I can drink a little bit and be Yotzeh on the bread.
One person.
One person has, one person has to drink the wine.
I didn't
when
know.
we had in the room Mezuman, 3 people, we read the Shulchan Aruch, I'll read it again. Shulchan Aruch says as follows, yes? Well, whatever you do is fine. Let me tell you what the Beit Yosef writes 450 years ago, based on 900 years ago, okay? Shulchan Aruch said that Friday night, the best is if the one that makes the Kiddush drinks a chickful. If he cannot, appoint someone to do it. The third opinion, he says, if everyone over there cannot have alcohol or whatever, two people can drink, but the cup has to be drank. The
The
cup
cup is a value.
has to be drank. This is the third opinion. The first and second opinion is you, the one that makes the kiddush, which means the drinking is part of it. Comes Tosfot now saying, and I'm wondering, look at Tosfot Eli, לא יפחתו לו מארבע כוסות. מתוך הלשון משמע קצת שאין נותנים לבניו ובני ביתו. The Seder night, בעזרת השם, Saturday night of this week, you don't have to give wine to everyone. It's enough if the בעל הבית is, והוא מוציא את כולם, the same way that Friday night you're drinking. הוא סברה הוא. It's logic. ימי שנה 4 כוסות לקידוש לכל השנה שאחד מוציא את כולם. Why should it be different? So basically this is the question we are halacha, of course, everyone, men and women, old and young, children, everyone has to have a cup of wine. But the Tosafot are not sure what exactly are, now the Tosafot continue.
But he said give it to him.
Correct.
One cup for the.
Exactly.
That's why we're
Exactly.
analyzing
Now
that.
the Tosafot are saying further, maybe, גם בקידוש, שמא היה לכל אחד כוס. Maybe everyone had a cup of wine in front of him. כי דמשמע לקמן, רבי חזיי להוא סבא דגחית בשעת. Okay, Tosafot are not
That's the
sure.
source, that's the
Okay,
source.
but doing. Anyway, Samis, Shabbat Bayom is much less than Shabbat at night. Tosafot assume if during the day they had why?
Because he's saying if Shabbat during the day, each one had their own cup to hold them all, so we would have it Friday night.
Correct. If you have during the day the Kiddush is the
Was a
Rabbanan.
daytime thing, they all had one as chili Friday.
So now take the Ramban and let's see how the
And then we'll bring us
Ramban.
back to this end.
I'm sorry, I'm still not clear on one thing. Why can't the one person on the one person help us to
Take
take
the
it
Rambam,
across to everybody, just like on Shabbat?
Man of Shabbat.
That's what David was asking. We all drink from
This
the
is
same
what
cup.
800 years ago. Tosafot. What you're saying now is you're summarizing what we speak in the last 10 minutes. Yeah? Tosafot would like to know what is the difference between. This is our topic.
That's the question.
I'm
This is
asking, I'm
exactly-
trying to-
This is exactly our topic. You summarize it in one sentence. You have a Rambam there?
Yes.
Okay, open the Rambam.
And here we have 4 cups, different than one cup.
No, obviously, but the question is again.
The first
Remember,
one.
the chokhmah is to look at the big
How do we
picture.
get there?
We have many times in Jewish, right, celebrations that we use wine.
Yeah.
We like the key word is the main part is the Sheva Berachot that you make, and the cup is only to show you that this is important. Is the cup a cherry on top of the cake, but it's the cake. The cake is the Berachot. No. The point is to drink. Mazir. To show you far more, yes.
Yeah.
This is basically
I
what
remember
you're
the Chaim didn't like wine. He would taste the least amount that he would like very little to drink and then pass to somebody else to drink. Somebody else would drink.
was there very, was it? Maybe
I don't know
this
what, I don't know what I mean.
And
And he used to
what
drink
you're
it.
saying at a wedding, it's pretty common, just like.
Right.
Common, all the rabbis.
Right.
Before you make Kiddush, did he drink enough?
You let somebody drink for you.
Right, I don't remember.
Somebody has to drink.
I wasn't privy to that.
Look a second now the Rambam in פרק ז', פרק ז' מחמץ ומצה, הלכה ו'. This is the wrong book, it's not Sefer Zmanim, look a second. I took the mistake. פרק ז' מחמץ ומצה, הלכה ו'. We showed this Rambam once, now we're going to, of course, read it.
What's the back, Jack?
Thank you.
Like a half an inch off the back.
It's a different thing. Look a second. Says the Rambam in Halacha Vav, we read it now, we're going to read it a little slower to hear what the Rambam is really saying.
You're gonna tell me he learned it out for Otanu?
Okay, let's
So why does it, so you're gonna tell me that on Friday night it should say Zichru et Yom HaShabbat L'Kodsho, So instead it says, oh, wow,
רק רגע.
wow.
Sammy, יעביד פרק ז' הלכה ו'. We read always the Rambam before to understand the big picture. בכל דור ודור חייב אדם להראות את עצמו. This is what we are going to do Friday night. You have to show כאילו הוא בעצמו יצא אתה משעבוד מצרים. You have to act. The Seder table is a stage that every Jewish family is trying to show. We just came out from Soviet Russia. שנאמר, ואותנו, each one of us, הוציא משם, not they, not he took they out, he took us. ועל דבר זה ציווה הקדוש ברוך הוא בתורה, וזכרת כי עבד היית. You have to remember, this was a slave, כלומר, אתה בעצמך, you were a slave there, ויצאת לחירות ולפקד. Okay, this is very cute for a speech to a rabbi. In practical life, what do we do? This is not the Rambam is going to tell each one of us in the last 337 years, what are we doing?
Well, these days, since you hear the hostage being released from the October 7th massacre, you get a little sense of it. So you hear the relief, you could almost relate to it a little.
This year it's easier to relate. It's easier to relate.
You hear the horrors that they went through, the hostages that were released, you get a little sense of what it feels like to be released.
Yeah, all the European people who were saved from the Holocaust, all the Russian Jews that came from USSR, except every generation you have people that really feel.
But us sitting here in Brooklyn,
that is
far.
לפיכך, now remember, the Rambam is telling us what the Halakha decided that we have to show. לפיכך, כשסועד אדם בלילה הזה, צריך לאכול ולשתות והוא בסב דרך חירות. This is why the concept of leaning, when you drink the wine and you eat at least the matzah, the Rambam says even the rest of the meal if you can, דרך חירות here, by doing that and
reenacting it, so to speak.
וכל אחד ואחד, תקשיב טוב סנדר, בין נשים חייב לשתות בלילה הזה 4 כוסות של יין. מה זה בכל? Here the Rambam solves to what problem. You know why we have to drink the wine? Because if you celebrate freedom, you drink wine.
The Tosafot lived the same time as Rambam.
קצת אחריו, but they never saw it.
Very close.
Rambam never saw that Tosafot.
No, but he clearly says, he says בפירוש, וכל אחד ואחד. בין אנשים חייב לשתות בלילה הזה.
איפה הביא את זה?
we'll see in a minute, it's a Gemara. In a minute we'll see the Gemara. But first pay attention, מה זה לפיכך? Since I told you the halakha before, each one of us has to show he became free man. In practicality, how do we do it?
As a free man, how would you do it?
By kneeling and drinking wine. So according to the Rambam here, every family member has to show it by drinking wine. Look, 4 כוסות של יין, אין פוחתים מהם, ואפילו העני המתפרנס מן הצדקה. You see, the Rambam copies this Mishnah that raised the safek of Tosfot.
And the Rambam, his children.
So the Rambam is saying, we're talking about a single poor man. This is the Rambam copies. He says before, the wife he says, "Vafilu ani amitpanes min hatzedakah lo yifchatu lo."
But his children and his wife, we don't know.
No, he says בפירוש, הוא מתחיל,
He started with
כשסועד האדם, this is why the Rambam includes it in the same halakha. The Rambam is a master
So
order.
you say here, Rabbi, the family
He's
gets
saying
enough for everybody?
yes, that we as a community have to give.
Kohanim has to supply the
Exactly. How many?
Not as
This exactly.
It's
Is exactly what he's saying.
Right.
And again, the reason is because you are fulfilling by doing it. I don't drink a normal night 4 cups of wine.
Rabbi Prague, besides this one, isn't just I'm just going to make sure Hanukkah, does he have the same rule with Hadlakat with Ney wrote that he has to?
Right. So the Rambam it's easier for the Rambam. You have to ask for Ashkenazim. The Rambam's opinion is that you light 1 menorah in the house anyway. So when we are we are giving it out.
But he has to sell him clothes, no?
Rambam says over there, you have to sell your garments and etc. But you need one menorah. Now, go now to Halacha Chet.
Okay.
Look in the middle of the Rambam. Like 4 lines before the end of this piece. I told you before that you have to do Aseba and everyone has to do it, even a poor man. And the Rambam says before, men, children, Isha Chashuba, Ve'imata tzrichim Aseba, Bishat Achilat Matzah, Ubishtiyat Arba'a Kosot Ha'elu. When you eat the matzah and drink the 4 cups, Ush'ar Achilato Ushtiyato.
Better to leave.
According to the Rambam, when you eat the rice, you eat the chicken, you better to leave. The Rambam is very consistent. But the rabbis told us, in order to show that you are a free man, the way you eat tonight, the way you drinking wine is different.
Well, Rabbi Prague, doesn't this look like a stira? Because before he said a woman has to drink the wine, and now you're saying a woman doesn't have to drink baseba. I don't understand how that works.
Okay, so then, I skipped the first.
I know you skipped it.
If I don't know how to read it. Look at the beginning of the halacha. Look at the beginning of Chet. Right. אפילו אני שבישראל לא יאכל עד שיסב.
Period.
צריכה הסיבה. I'm sorry, אישה אינה צריכה הסיבה.
Yeah.
ואם אישה חשובה היא, צריכה הסיבה. So we looked already in the Rishonim, and the Rishonim are saying that even in the time, forget now, Pesach, and a regular dinner where everyone was leaning a woman, the Shein Tov is much before the Rambam, yes, 1200 years ago. It says, Ein darka shel isha la'aseh kacha u'beh. So this is the reason, this is not a contradiction. If the way you normally eat was ba'aseba, so now the Rambam continues. So let's go back. So why did Tosafot think that Pesach night is enough to have 1 cup? Because perhaps the idea is the Sipur of Yetziat Mitzrayim. The idea is the Birkat Hamazon. If I'm saying Birkat Hamazon on a cup, I'm sure that Birkat Hamazon is for sure. I say I'm well on a cup. Tosafot Avinu, you hear me? The Rambam emphasizes that the drinking is a way of showing their chilul. It happens to be, when am I drinking? After Kiddush, after Birkat Hamazon, after the Haggadah. Tosafot are saying, maybe the idea of drinking is not the drinking, it's holding the cup to show that it's before.
You know, Rabbi Prague?
Yes, Friday night. This is a affection to us.
Rabbi Prague, this sounds like the Tekiyat Shofar, that if you don't have the psukim afterwards, it looks like you have to drink. If you don't drink without the Haggadah, you're not Yotzei, maybe.
Similar. Now, there was one year that in Europe, Europe means Russia, wine was very expensive. So there it is, the 2 children of the Rav of Bris, Moshe Soloveitchik, the father of Rav Soloveitchik and his brother, told everyone in Bris, 1 person makes Kiddush, he's mutzi everyone, based on this Tosafot.
At least there was some precedent.
Because Tosafot are not, but again, the question is the Amirah. Now, is it possible Pesach night that 2 people should share the cup? Has to do with the same type of a question, yes. If the mitzvah is to show that I'm a ben chovin, I cannot share it with you. Everyone has to drink. If the mitzvah is to show that the Kiddush is important by holding the wine, the Haggadah is important by holding the wine, Birkat Hamazon. Now, every time, Sam, if you want to know, therefore, where did the Rambam take it? Go back to
During the Haggadah, even when you say it, how come in the middle, even when you're not drinking, you lift the kos?
in certain parts of the Haggadah. In a minute, yeah.
But they have to be connected. There must be a connection
No,
between.
so I'm telling you again. Friday night, everyone agrees that the idea is to show that Shabbat is a special day. How? I'm reciting the Kiddush on wine, right? Therefore, by drinking it, I told you yesterday that Rav Soloveitchik says that if you think it makes a lot of sense, the reason why each one of us is taking a sip Friday night is because Shabbat meal has to start with wine. Shabbat meal has to start with wine. Yes. Here it's totally different. By Pesach, the Rambam says, open a second now. Open a second the Rambam in Perek Chavchet Milchot Shabbat. Go back, you are in Sefer Zmanim. Rambam. And now it is Milchot Shabbat. Perek Chavchet. Shabbat is the first topic the Rambam is discussing.
My frequently recited phrase at the Seder is lean left.
Good.
29. Halacha.
Let's look at Halacha, okay? מצוות עשה מן התורה לקדש את יום השבת בדברים. קידוש Friday night is to show how important Shabbat is. So the content of the Kiddush is the main part of the Kiddush. שנאמר, זכור את יום השבת לקדשו, remember to praise, כלומר, זוכרהו זכירת שבח וקידוש. צריך לזוכרהו בכניסתו ויציאתו. According to Rambam, even Havdalah is a statement. According to Rambam, Havdalah is min Torah. It shows that how the day is important. Now, look at Halacha Daled a second. עיקר הקידוש בלילה, אם לא קידש בלילה, the full קידוש, בין במזיד, בין בשוגג, בין במזיד, מקדש והולך כל היום כולו. You can make קידוש Shabbat afternoon also, the full קידוש of Friday night, if you missed it. ואם לא הבדיל בלילה, if you didn't make Havdalah Saturday night, מבדיל למחר, you can say it on Sunday, you can say it till Tuesday end. Fine. But בורא מאורי האש עושה on Sunday. Fine. Now,
How come you said Tuesday when here it says Wednesday?
No.
it says עד סוף יום שלישי.
I know, my default says at Sof Yom Revi'i.
האמת, yeah?
Yes, and that's why I'm looking, because that's why, otherwise when I asked you the question, I mean, because
Okay.
it looks like there's two different nuchsaot, but all right, leave it alone, it's okay.
Obviously, there are two different nuschaot.
It's not part of the next week.
But Ravi, if you look at the Gemara, you'll see.
When you have a digital edition,
Rabbi,
he has a
look,
digital edition.
Rabbi, it has up here, it says it.
You have the digital also.
You hear?
Yes, it has it up here.
Very
It
good.
says Yom Revi'i.
Oh.
You see the Kesef Mishnah, look at Kesef.
Yeah, he says to look at the Kesef Mishneh.
Right. But if
Interesting,
you,
never heard that.
no, but I'll explain to you why this is.
Oh, it's gonna be Ad V'Ad Bichlal?
Go back a second to Daf Kufvav. Go a second to Daf Kufvav. Again, the same page you had before. Page Kufvav, 106. Kufvav Amud Aleph. You see that I'll explain to you why this is Kufvav. So the Gemara we saw before, we are continuing. Okay, here. Amre b'nei Rabbi Chia. You see?
That's the first word.
About
Amre,
two-thirds of the way
it's in the
down.
middle of the line.
Two-thirds of it, three-quarters
The
of the way
first
down.
one is a Chacham Egav B'Rosho.
Three-quarters of the way down.
אמרי בני רב חייא, סיים, תקשיב טוב. מי שלא הבדיל במוצאי שבת, מבדיל והולך בכל השבת כולו. following this, עד כמה? אמר רבי זעירא, עד רביעי. מה זה עד רביעי? Up to
But excluding.
when does the
What is up to
when is
and
Wednesday?
including or
When
not?
does Wednesday begin? At the end of Tuesday. Ishma. Where do we get this Tuesday? Kia, please listen. The Yativ Rabbi Zeira Kamei de Rabasi. Rabbi Zeira said in front of Rabasi. Amr la Rabasi. Kamei de Rabbi Yochanan. The Yativ Kama. Please listen good what he said. The Inyan Gitin. Chada b'Shabta, Trei b'Shabta, הוקלט בשבתא, yes, הוקלטה בתר שבתא.
Sunday, Monday, Tuesday.
4, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, it's קמי שבתא, מה זה? look at the רשב"ם מדבר, look at the רשב"ם. לעניין גיטין, you see 3 lines on the bottom? 3 lines.
Yeah.
אם אמר לה, he'll say a man gives his wife a divorce paper, he gave it to her, and the condition שתתני לי 200 זוז, that you give me X amount of money, אחר השבת, yes? And Thursday, he gives her the get, and the condition that after Shabbat, you give me X amount of money. Yes? או על מנת שתתני לי קודם השבת. So when can she give it? If she gave it to him Thursday, again, it's Wednesday or Thursday, he's giving her the get, just give me the money after Shabbat. Says the Gemara, if she gave it to him Sunday, Monday, or Tuesday, she's divorced because she fulfilled the condition. If she gave it Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, she's not divorced because the condition. So you see from this
Time frames.
halacha that
Capsule.
Sunday, Monday, Tuesday are counted as after Shabbat. This is why when you make Havdalah, you can make Havdalah.
Up till.
So this halacha of Gitin is only to show us what is considered after Shabbat.
What's this section?
Now, of course, you do know, of course, you understand.
Thursday, Friday is also after Shabbat.
No, I'm
Time-wise.
saying that's more or less where
So
the break is.
I'm saying that the break is Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
But still, after that Shabbat.
After
Yes, but
Shabbat is
it's
in
What's
the
the ta- which Shabbat is
Before the
attached?
next Shabbat.
The previous one or the next one? The break is on Wednesday.
Yeah,
And
you're
the
right.
discovery
That's
have
the
basically
issue.
to prepare, show to the next Shabbat, we have to.
After this Shabbat,
So going back to what you said before, Ad Ravi'i doesn't mean that you can make the Havdalah. I'm showing you an open Gemara. Yes? The open Gemara says with Havdalah you can say Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, not Wednesday. So the Ravi'i there is Ad Ravi'i. The law including Ravi'i, which means when Tuesday ends. Okay. Look a second in the Rambam, when the Rambam copies it, the Rambam says, אם לא הבדיל בלילה, מבדיל למחר ומבדיל והולך עד סוף יום שלישי. This is סוף יום שלישי, yes?
How does Larry's thing have a fourth day?
But this is what it means, up to
Oh, up until,
the
I
word
see.
up until is missing. So it's fourth day, but it should be up until.
Now, but you see
So
what,
is Arbako so Doraita or Drabanan?
oh,
I didn't understand.
this is the point. Everyone agrees that the Rabbanan told me to drink, but according to the Rambam, they told me how to fulfill mitzvah min Torah, to feed their children. This is the point. See, this is why I read you the Rambam, the Fichach.
Yeah, because
The Rambam was very careful. The Rambam says there is a mitzvah min Torah to act as a ben chorin. How? The Fichach. So the rabbis are telling me how to show that I'm ben chorin. So when Tosafot understood, it's completely the Rabbanan. Now the rabbis told us to drink Arba Kosot, Secher, Uvotzeti V'itzalti V'gardi V'lakachti. So perhaps the same as Friday night, it's enough if Baal Habayit is making Kiddush, and he's motzi everyone. זה יפה מאוד. ממש, האם יש בזה קיום מן התורה או לא? according to the Rambam, there is a mitzvah to physically show I'm a ben chorin. How? I'm drinking 4 cups of wine. I'm leaning. According to the Safot, the rabbis told you drink. הוצאתי והצלתי וגרתי ולקחתי, yes? But it's only the Rabbanan. Now, if you want to
So the Rambam says it's a d'oraisa to drink.
the kiyum is the oraisa. The Rambam said the fichach, you have to drink Arba Kosot. Leaning, yes. Not only the leaning is a way to show that I'm a ben chorin, but drinking Arba Kosot. I never drink Arba Kosot.
But is it the minimum quantity required for the second, third, fourth cup is less than the same? or
The same. You see,
So you take a sip on 2, 3, and 4,
many people.
and you're in.
Wait a minute. How do you drink the 4th cup after Borei Priya Geffen and Birkat Hamazon?
Birkat Hamazon is the 3rd cup.
3rd, excuse me.
Then we say the second half of Hallel, And now
But who drinks the third cup then? If the woman,
the third cup is because Birkat Hamazon.
yeah, but who drinks that cup there?
Everyone around the table. This is the point
Women
we're
included.
making now. We're making, the rabbis established everyone has to drink full. According to the Rambam, I have a tiyum deoraita. Not the Rambam, so it's only the Rabbanan. Whatever you did, but Rani's question was, in many families, the older people or people who ate too much during the meal, when it comes to the fourth cup, they have a problem drinking, yes? So as the Gemara said before, "Achacham einav berosho," einav berosho means make sure
Don't drink too much.
don't
so
drink
you
too
can
much. And also, I don't think the 2 ounces, Rani.
So the second, third, and fourth is raw, of course, but the first one should be the full cup.
No, they're
No.
all the same.
All the same.
All the same. Either you drink
Kiddushin,
a cheap
Friday
food,
night,
a cheap
not full
food, a
cup.
cheap
No,
food,
no,
a
no.
cheap
Rambam said repeat, what he said, repeat.
No, רביעית או רובו,
רוב
תחילה, רוב רביעית. Now, if you
No,
want,
he didn't write rough, he wrote just wrote the beat though.
So it's like 2
Rambam.
ounces.
yeah, it's about approximately 2 ounces.
It's 3.3.
People think it's a whole
Yeah.
glass.
Go back.
That's less than, that's
The
than
majority
Go
is
back.
3.3.
Go back to the Rambam.
The majority is 3.3. The majority. of
less than
the-
2 ounces.
Eli, we didn't go with the Rambam.
What's that?
We didn't go with the Rambam, how much you drink. We
Right.
started
We didn't say I
with
saw it,
Shabbat.
yeah, but
We really
we
did.
did right.
I'm going to show you now, I'm going to show you. It's nothing.
And you have to.
So
Look
Rabbi,
at-
there is a way of saving that wine instead of wasting it. If I get 2 ounces and I'm left with 6
You waste the
ounces,
food after the wedding, and you waste the food after.
I don't like to waste it.
Don't
They
try
waste
Only the caterers do that.
When it comes to mitzvah suddenly we are eating to the saving.
You just first
So isn't it waste, right, Rabbi?
You mean it's okay? No, no.
Eventually you drink.
I only drank a broth to eat, and now I have to fill up the glass. I have to empty it and then fill it up, right?
Wash it out, we wash
You
it
have to
out.
wash it out.
Somehow you Joseph doesn't be wasted.
He writes,
I don't-
You
I
fill
don't
it to the
always
last
throw it
drop.
out. I don't throw it out.
If you drank 2 ounces,
yeah.
you can
Just
fill
fill up
it.
what's left.
I'm good for it.
You fill it.
We take the
It
cups
goes
off, we
fresh.
rinse it.
Okay, so
We
some.
take the cups off the table, they rinse it, then bring it back.
Between number 3 and number 4, for sure, now, you don't rinse so carefully.
Money is drinking, but
Just
we can
pour some
really
water,
do
they
is.
go, they put
I
it
know,
out there.
Take the
number 3
wine,
is always
put in
new.
another
That's
cup.
it. Number 1, number 2.
Rinse the cup.
I
and
found-
Drink
I
out
found,
of
Can
it.
you use the same wine again?
Yes.
Oh, that's good. I
Number
think
4,
good
you
now.
just put it in
What's
home.
that?
You just, see,
So,
By
Joseph
number
just
4,
said
you
one
went home,
bottle
you're
of
different
wine.
already.
I'm
What's
sorry,
wrong
Rabbi,
with
what is
Joseph
up that, this is making
I
non
told you,
public?
no, it's not
You pour a little
I
bit
pour
of
it
the
more,
old,
it's not
yeah.
done yet.
Yeah.
So
Number 4 is tired already. Oh, it's 1 in the
whatever
morning.
you did, don't create any
No.
storms in the
So
center.
the Rambam goes out of his way to say you have to remember slavery. You were a slave. You were a slave, and then he talks about chilul.
Remember,
He doesn't really talk about.
but this is
remember
part of
you were
it.
a slave.
How do I,
You can't be free unless you thought you were a slave.
remember, I gave you an example for me as a kid, it made a big impression.
I eat lechem
The-
only. That's how I remember.
the
Now
most-
I'm drinking like a
The
king.
most dramatic testimony, the Eichmann Israel was a fellow, Yechiel Ginu, this was his name. During the testimony, he fainted. Then he revealed his identity. He wrote 3 famous books, and this was the biggest in the Holocaust. Every time he wrote his books, you hear, in the Holocaust, he went to a cave near Tel Aviv. He had a uniform for Auschwitz. He wore it, and he spent 10 days in a cave. Why did he do it?
10 days?
Whatever it took him to
Wow,
life.
it took some
whatever.
days.
This is the point. The point is, he wanted to feel I'm back there in time. Yes, yes.
Wow.
I read many books that a lady wrote, Vanquish of the Dragon. She and her 4 friends. She said, very often when I read, my hands were bleeding. I stayed all night, I went back in time. So the Rambam says there is a contrast here, yes. On one hand, you have to feel this part. Look a second back in
That's
time.
why he changes the verb from lirot to laharot. I mean, that's obvious.
Exactly how the Rambam's Gisa was, yes.
In Russia in 1974, so they're doing Seder. I'm at the Seder, and
Sammy was in Russia
You in
in
Russia?
74 and he
Wow.
made a seder, yes.
all the women and children go outside the house and knock on the door.
Really?
Oh, to reenact.
We are running out of Egypt. Please let us in. There is
You hear this?
the
In
correct way.
1974, the ladies and the
Wow.
kids went out of the house they knock on the door and they say, we're
doing
running
that.
away.
Do that now, you should do it.
No, זה מאוד
Yeah,
יפה.
I tried, she sent me.
They didn't open the
You're
door.
a rabbi, she locked the door after you. That's the problem. Your wife locked the door after
When the Rambam says it's a Doraita, does he with the four kosot? I understand, I know the point, I know the. But does he say that if one mitzvah you have, let's say you have 3 cups, you did nothing, I mean, how does he then get
You
into?
hear what he said? If he has, you have only 2 cups, 3 cups, should you not drink any? כולם מסכימים. There's a discussion, but everyone agrees. you have
All or
to-
nothing at all.
Rabbi Prague, Rabbi Prague.
I'm not saying he's not saying it's
cups,
4
3
mitzvot,
cups, 1
he's saying
cup.
it's 1 mitzvah, but
One
4 courses,
mitzvah,
so
the
1
kiyum
mitzvah.
is- yes.
Rabbi Prague.
Yes, yes.
Tell Eli and you for yourself, I'm gonna find it for you. There's a new artificial intelligence chat GPT just for Orthodox questions called Rav GPT. It's fascinating. Rav GPT. Anybody can look at it.
Who is the Rav?
No, you look on it, they purposely make the Rav the right Rav. You'll see, Rabbi Prague, this is an Orthodox Rav GPT. They have really, it's very interesting.
So Larry, I saw something in one of the Jewish publications, they asked the AI, which is the true religion? And AI answers Judaism.
No, but I'm saying, no, this is,
Here, here.
Just the AI answered Judaism is the true religion. They went through 6 reasons why Judaism is the true religion. The AI said.
Really? AI
And
told
you
that?
got tried that.
Every religion, they say it's true.
But AI said it.
AI
The
says it,
AI.
Judaism too.
Yeah,